Good morning, everyone. Today we're checking out a brand new video that was recommended to us. Welcome to voice actor fusions. Now, before we actually get into it, quick explanation, because I actually didn't know what it would be. I at first thought it was going to be just like different kind of voice actors fused together. No. It's we're taking the characters that are voiced by the same guy or girl and fusing them. Like a prime example that I'm kind of blocking is that in part 2, it shows a Jack Black fusion, which is Po of Kung Fu Panda, Bowser of the Super Mario movie, and his old character from a kind of guitar battle game. I don't honestly know. But either way, let's hop in and see which voice character... screw it, let's just hop in.
Back when I was doing my Doodle a Day series over on the Shorts tab, I had the idea to take different characters that shared the same voice actor and fuse them into one. And as I mentioned in my live streams, I really want to start getting into video ideas that I want to do instead of just pushing them off until the time feels right. So today we're going to be taking 3 different characters per voice actor for 3 different voice actors and creating fusion pieces for each of them.
There you go.
Let's create some chaos!
Ooh, great some chaos. I like that.
Although rare,
the first one up is Richard Horvitz. I'm sorry if that's not how you pronounce it, but the characters we're apparently seeing fused is Moxie of Hell of a Boss, Zim of Invader Zim, and Alpha of Mighty Morphing Power Rangers. That's it. My brain was trying to say like Super Power Rangers, but that was not even close.
been times when one of Hell's own is so reckless and incompetent that not even Hell knows how to deal with them. Such was the case for Alpha Moxin.
Alpha Moxin, I love that.
An imp who was born in Hell, Alpha Moxin's chaos and destruction in his early years were a welcome norm of daily life. However, as he grew older, he became more rambunctious, brash, and arrogant. Before long, his chaos became unpredictable, even by Hell's standards, and eventually, he was ruled as a liability.
I could see
Some
that.
even said that Alpha Moxim was more detrimental to Hell than the Exorcist's exterminations, as he would often attack Hellborn and other imps, something that the angels weren't allowed to do. Eventually, due to an overwhelming demand from the people of Hell, including Hellborn, sinners, and even overlords, Lucifer had no choice but to banish Alpha Moxim from Hell. Lucifer told him that he would be running reconnaissance for Hell by gathering info about the way of life on Earth and how it was constantly changing. Alpha Moxim arrived on Earth and quickly learned how to blend in, covering up his more abnormal features.
Oh, wait, I get it now. Yeah, got the origin of Moxie, but was sent to Earth like Zim. Wonder how Alpha plays into
Such as his skin, tail, big pink eyes, and his glowing mechanical mouth, the last of which was a transplant he got after he was caught in his own crossfire. He spent months studying humans and taking meticulous notes on their activities and behaviors. Except, he wasn't doing it for the sake of Hell, nor for the hell of it. Instead, he was gathering intel to plan out how to perfectly conquer Earth. Alpha Moxim knew that it would take way too long to conquer Earth single-handedly, if such a feat was even possible in the first place. So he opted to appoint his own generals to aid in the invasion. He started off recruiting 5 of the brightest minds he met during his time on Earth.
That was the Alpha part of it.
Which just so happened to be the first 5 teenagers he met at the high school he was going undercover at. With the promise of great power and fame, he persuaded the teens to join his side in his conquest of the planet, but only made them powerful enough to be slightly stronger than their fellow humans, to reduce the risk of any of them turning on him. Slowly, and possibly surely, Alpha Moxim and his team of powerful generals began to rain havoc on Earth, with the goal of ruling over whatever remained.
I like that. Not bad.
As I mentioned in the intro, this is an idea I had for a video back when I was doing a doodle a day, and I forget who the actual prompt was for. I believe it was Invader Zim. I had the idea to take 3 characters voiced by Richard Stephen Horvitz and split the piece into 3. So the top was Moxie, the middle was Invader Zim, and the bottom was a character called Orthopox from the video game Destroy All Humans. And
I remember that. Yeah, in the game, Destroy All Humans, the kind of head honcho that tells you what to do, well, your character's boss, is actually voiced by Richard Horvitz. But he's just doing, I can't remember if he was doing the Invader Zim voice or the Billy voice. Billy from Billy and Mandy.
I wanted to make an actual fusion of that for this episode, so this was the first one I did, but I wanted to change it up from Orthopox to do something a little different because I felt like having two aliens would have been an interesting choice to do. So I chose Alpha 5 from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Good thinking.
Did that work story and design wise? Not really. I probably should have stuck with Orthopox. I had a lot of trouble trying to figure out how do I incorporate this metallic mouth, which is Alpha 5's eyes actually, into the story of this hellborn imp being banished from hell. And furthermore, I also had to kind of just sweep under the rug that the fact that an imp most likely wouldn't have green skin by Hell of a Boss rules.
True.
But as long as I didn't acknowledge it in the story, except that I did right now, oops, that people might let it slide a little bit. I don't know. But the one thing that really bothers me is the little underwear on the outside thing he's wearing. I don't really know what to call it, but everything else looks really good.
Yeah.
Except that one part. But I also felt...
I do have to kind of agree with you. It looks just so off. Plus, you can actually see it's tight on his
that
pants.
As I was doing this, I'm like, it needs something... It needs a little bit more Alpha 5 in it to get across all three characters. Even though I had the Power Rangers lightning bolt on the tail, I changed the feet to be Alpha 5s, I gave the shoulder pad and the mouth/eyes.
Yeah.
But I opted for the underpants, and it's really the one part of the design that I do not like at all. While doing this drawing, I realized this should be a drawing where I focused less on the posing and more on the design details. So as you saw in the sketching phase, I originally had the character going in a more hunched over scheming pose until I realized that would cover up a lot of the torso, and I wanted it to be seen because I want all the design elements of this character to be seen. Except looking back on it, maybe we could have covered up those underpants. And so I opted for a much more spread out and dramatic pose where the character
like he's in the middle of giving a monologue.
Is holding a knife and kind of threatening somebody off screen. And I think that works a lot better. As I mentioned, there are a few bits where I'm a little iffy about, but overall I think this is a really strong start to this episode and even possibly series. Let's take a look.
Oh, it does become a series. Alpha Moxium. Oh, Alpha Moxim.
Despite being the head of a toy company, Kane Pierre...
Oh, whoa. Okay, so this is something. Huh. So Mommy Longlegs, Uzi, and the Gloink Queen are all voiced by the same person? Huh. That's kind of awesome.
Had no idea what children liked. He genuinely did want to bring happiness to children, but every time he unveiled a new toy from Playtime Co., it ended in disaster and horror. Too often would he misinterpret what children were looking for when it came to toys. Like when he made an ice cannon after he heard a child say he liked cool things. The constant toy flops were taking its toll on the company until their finances were stuck deep in the red. Kane Pierre had only one more chance to save his toy company from going under.
Oh, I was just getting the name. Kane and Pierre. Oh, from Leaf Pierre. There's gotta be a third character in there, but I'm not sure.
Ditch effort, Kane surveyed a bunch of children about what kind of creature or entity they loved the most. Unfortunately, the results came back with a three-way tie between robots, snakes, and spiders. Knowing that it was impossible to make 3 separate toys on the shoestring budget they had left, Kane had the ingenious idea to combine all 3 of these toys into one. He wanted to make his last toy the biggest one they ever made, and so, quite literally, made it bigger in size. In addition to giving it sentience, based on the secret experiments that he was running underneath the facility to make the toys more lifelike, hoping that it would help boost sales.
That's how I did that.
Unfortunately, like all the other toys that Kane Pierre pushed out, The children were not a fan of this new plaything that came to be known, rather disturbingly, as Mommy Gloinksy. The toy never made it past the testing phase, and with no money left to try again, King Pierre had no choice but to shut down Playtime Co. Since everything was closing down for good, none of the employees at the company bothered to clean out any machinery or discard any inventory, resulting in the factory being abandoned, with every toy the company ever made being left to collect dust. Because of the sentience that King Pierre had given it, Mommy Gloinksy wandered the empty factory alone for months on end. As time went on, the toy grew resentful of the cursed life that it had been brought into, until one day, when moving around the lower levels of the factory, she came across the hidden lab that Kane and the other factory workers used to conduct experiments to learn how to make the toys more lifelike and sentient. Mommy Gloinksy flew into a rage and destroyed the lab, releasing any of the toys that were alive. She was no longer alone. She no longer wandered aimlessly through the shallow, empty halls of what was once Playtime Co.
Now you fucked up.
She had a purpose. She and all the other toys were going to find a way to escape the factory, and when they did, they were going to kill all of the factory workers that were responsible for their horrifying existence.
That's going, Kane.
This one wound up being a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, but I have no one else but myself to blame for that. Because as I was going through Elsie Lovelock's IMDb page to find out what characters she voiced, I knew that whatever two characters I chose, I wanted it to be fused with the Gloink Queen. Because I knew that design-wise, it would be the most different from whatever two other characters I wound up picking.
True.
And then I also subconsciously kind of went with Uzi from Murder Drones, because, at least for myself, that's where I know Elsie Lovelock to be from. And then...
as many people can point out, I'm kind of bad with names, so I don't know who voices who.
I found out that she voiced Mommy Longlegs in Poppy Playtime. I'm like, oh, cool, I'll do that because I really like Poppy Playtime. So I put all those three together, and I'm like, all right, cool. And the result was the design being very heavy on Uzi and the Gloink Queen, while the story wound up being very heavy on Uzi and Mommy. And that's only because, story-wise at least, we didn't really get much of the Gloink Queen in the pilot to Amazing Digital Circus.
Yeah.
Other than just like, here's the thing for the characters to fight, and all things must be Gloinks. At least that's what I remember. And then on Mommy Longlegs and Uzi's side, they both had a similar kind of revenge motivation that they wanted to do. Mommy Longlegs trying to kill the player character and everyone who worked at the factory, and Uzi trying to escape the planet to kill all humans. That was her motivation in early episodes of Murder Drones. And overall, it turned out really cool. I like it. It's just like, there's only a few little elements of Mommy Longlegs in the actual design. I used her hairstyle and then colored it to Uzi's hair color to combine those two. And then
I think with the hair, if you wanted to add more of Mommy Longlegs, you could have made some of the strands pink. You know, making a mix between Uzi's color and Mommy Longlegs.
The eyes, I gave it the kind of LED screen, for lack of a better word, that all the Murder Drones have, and gave it multiple eyes like the Gloink Queen has, and then made all the eyes green, once again, for Mommy Longlegs. So Mommy Longlegs is in the design, but there's like little bits and pieces of it, like a color or a hairstyle, or the fact that I made the arms slightly longer to show the elastic capabilities of Mommy Longlegs.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
And that was only after I did a couple of sketches, because in this video, I did a lot more in the sketching phase than I normally would, by marking down all the key elements of each character, drawing a very rough sketch of how I could possibly combine all of them, a second sketch to really rough out the character with the fusion, and then finally, for this one, another sketch of a more dynamic pose rather than the character just standing there like it was a character sheet.
Dynamic like
and
how?
It was only in that third final sketch, I'm like, oh, if I put the hand
Ooh, you could have made it like crawling.
Closer
that could have been cool.
And longer, like...
And I don't mean crawling on the ground like this. No, I mean like Like, have the arms attached to a roof, maybe even part of the tail dragging along as well.
More toward the
Well,
viewer,
that could have been creepy.
it could look like it would be a stretchy hand, stuff like that. But let's take a look at Mommy Gloinksy, because the names were most likely the hardest part of this video.
I can totally see why. Ah, there she is, Mommy Gloinksy. Okay, who's up next?
Hello, this is professional voice actor. Nope. Hello,
Oh.
this is professional voice actor Pin King Creations, letting you know that if you like to portrait. Hello, this is Hello, this is professional voice actor Pin King Erations. Yeah, that's the one. Letting you know that if you like to purchase any of these drawings, they will be available as posters on the channel's Teespring store, linked in the description below.
Hey, that's kind of cool.
All right, back to the video. If you wish for your past to remain...
No freaking way in hell. Glamrock Freddy, Bazelle, and this JoJo character all share the same voice actor? I'm guessing that's this Kellen Jeff character? Oh, this is gonna be freaky! You got a time god mixing in with a robot and a human!
Hidden and live a life of anonymity, it's best not to become the face of a notorious fast food chain. Many people knew about the horrific events surrounding the Freddy Fazbear franchise, and rumors began circling about supernatural occurrences surrounding the restaurant's animatronics. How they stayed in business long enough to open a mega pizzaplex was anyone's guess. But, as expected, the promise of supernatural happenings lured in crowds of curious explorers. One day, when the pizzaplex was closed, a group of 6 teenagers snuck into the huge building with
This one is gonna be dumb as all hell!
Cameras and other technology in hopes of recording some creepy findings. They wandered in the dark for what felt like hours, or even possibly days, when one of them pointed out how things didn't quite feel right. Then, from seemingly out of nowhere, an animatronic appeared in front of him and punched a hole through his chest, before vanishing into thin air.
Damn!
The animatronic pulled its hand away from its bow tie as the time skip ability took effect. Though there were still 5 teens somewhere in the building, taking out their friend most likely scared them away from digging any deeper into the franchise's past. Though, the animatronic knew it wouldn't be long before another group of kids tried to do the same thing. Michael Doppio remembered little from his past life as a human. How his soul ended up possessing a rockstar bear animatronic with a clock for a face was a mystery that was never solved.
Yeah, we got a lot of questions here.
He was still on a mission to remove all connections that tied himself to the Doppio family name and destroy the wretched places of their crimes by burning down any Freddy Fazbear restaurant that his father had worked at. Michael's father, William...
Okay, so yeah, we all get a lot of
It's a trail of death and destruction in his wake, as he tried to unlock the secrets of the world that no mortal man should ever know. William Doppio killed and experimented on kids to try to unlock the secrets of the human soul, trying to pull out special powers he believed were buried deep inside of everyone. When he was done with the children, he would stuff them into one of the animatronics at whatever location he was working at. A lot of these times, the animatronics would develop fascinating powers that William was looking for, though these places were usually abandoned by the time the powers manifested, so no one took any notice.
Nice idea of adding the Roman numerals to that tail.
Michael had managed to burn down pretty much every other Fazbear pizzeria before he found himself stuck inside the shell of this time-controlling glam rock bear. He believed his work was done and he would simply rest as an animatronic and live the anonymous life he was deprived of thanks to his father's actions. Unfortunately, the end is never that easy. No matter how many times Michael faced off against his father, fate would favor the demon, and he would always come back. This time was no exception. Michael learned his father was alive underneath the foundation of the Pizzaplex, and with the help of a young boy who got locked inside the Pizzaplex at night, set off to find his last remaining relative and tie up the final loose end, linking Michael to the horrors of Freddy Fazbear. This one, I really struggled to come up with a third character of Kellen's to use in this fusion. I knew that I wanted to use either Diavolo, from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, or Overhaul from My Hero Academia, and Glamrock Freddy.
Wait, he's the voice of Overhaul? Son of a bitch!
Even though overall there were so many more Five Nights at Freddy's characters I could have chosen from. There was Funtime Freddy, Sun, and Moon too that he all voices, which is incredible. But I felt
love this.
Glamrock Freddy would be the animatronic that made the most sense to have Diavolo's long flowing hair.
Yeah.
Just because it fit Glamrock the most. And going through Kellen Goff's IMDb page, I really couldn't find any other characters that I was familiar with until I landed on Loki from Brawlhalla and Bezel from Chicken Nugget. And I really couldn't decide which one I wanted, so I asked my friends and they came back with Bezel, which makes sense considering Diavolo's Stan King Crimson has time controlling abilities. So
well, there you go,
thematically it worked out. But
yeah,
the one
perfect.
problem with Bezel is he doesn't have too much to his design. He has the floating clock face
extremely simple.
and a purple suit and a bow tie, and that's pretty much it. So it was really hard to incorporate Bezel into this design. Obviously,
True.
I put the clock face on Freddy's face, which looks really cool, and also made the head floating just to give it that little bit more of Bezel.
Oh, it is.
But other
floating.
than that, the only other similarities that were between these three characters were the colors that they shared. Freddy and Bezel shared a kind of tealish blue kind of color, where Bezel and Diavolo shared a purple color with Bezel's suit and Diavolo's pants.
Yeah, not
but
bad.
I couldn't include like the top half of the suit because I wanted to include Diavolo's fishnets, which for the most part would probably rather work better if this character didn't have a shirt on underneath it. So Bezel is incorporated a little bit, but mostly only through the colors of his character design. The posing
Which
was a
just
little
kinda
tricky
makes
for this one
sense.
because I wanted to use a JoJo pose. I wanted to do the pose where Doppio is getting a call and he's has his hand to his ear listening for the sound of the phone ringing. But in the opening to Golden Wind, his hand is actually between his hair and his head. So if I did it as it was in the anime, it would block out the hair. And I really wanted to showcase Epitaph's time-seeing ability by drawing a little Vanny in his hair. So I took a couple of creative liberties and put his hand behind his hair, which kind of still works, but also really ruins it, as I've come to figure out. But I really wanted that image in the hair to be seen, so I do like it better. But let's take a look at our final drawing of the episode, Glamrock Bezelvolo.
I do kind of agree that this one could have been...
hopefully come up with better names in the future.
That this one could have been better, but it's not bad for a first run at it. Still though, love this. It's just a laugh. Ooh, bloopers and outtakes. Here we go.
Some even said that Alpha Moxim was more detrimental to Hell than the Extra Sticks Exterminations.
Oh.
Nope. Extra Sticks.
Oh, I know that issue.
Michael had managed to burn down pretty much every other Fazbear pizzeria. He found him. It's so hard to use a R as a W. Fazbear.
Yeah.
Fazbear pizza. Fazbear.
The moment you start trying to do that, you can't switch back. It's tough.
Fazbear pizzeria. You can't be dramatic while saying that.
Exactly.
Freddy Fazbear. Freddy Fazbear. Fazbear. This Sunday, Freddy Fazbear. If you want to see more videos like this, I highly recommend the r/boss fight redesign series we have on the channel, where I take different posts from the r/boss fight subreddit and well, redesign them.
Okay, that actually
All in the
does
title.
seem
That's
kind
what
of
it
cool.
says on the box. And if you want to see more videos like this, then comment down below what voice actors you think I should work with next.
And to all of you out there, let me know down in the comments below of this video what videos from him you want me to check out. Do remember though, with the Pop Crust videos already taking up 2 of my 8 slots, that does only leave another 6. And if I have to, I will not react to one of these videos to take up one of the other slots if I have to. But still though, let me know down in the comments below what videos from Kingpin you want me to check out next time. Until then, remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link to the original will be in the description below, and I'll see all of you next time when we flick back on. Until then, this is Fox, signing out, peace.